Hi, I'm your host, Larissa Worstiak. On this podcast, I explore topics in digital marketing for jewelry designers and retailers, including branding, content, email, events, social media, and more. This is episode 72, and today I'm bringing you a special episode that's all about jewelry marketing in the time of the coronavirus outbreak. I totally dropped my regular content schedule and quickly drafted this episode in one inspired streak because I feel really passionately about the fact that marketing is more important than ever now in a time of economic uncertainty and even crisis. In addition, if business is slowing down for you right now, I understand how difficult and scary that can be, but the slow period also does present major opportunities for you to revisit your current marketing strategy, decide what has and hasn't been working up till now, and overhauling your approach so that you can come back to the market even stronger in the future. So basically what I'm saying is that even though I'm also feeling worried and uncertain like many of you, I'm excited to share this episode and I hope it inspires you. In case you're new to this podcast or haven't listened to the past few episodes, I'm now doing a video version of this podcast, which you can find on the Joy Joya Jewelry Marketing YouTube channel. So if you've ever wondered what I look like, or you'd rather watch me instead of listen to me, then you'll definitely want to subscribe now. You can visit learn.joyjoya.com/YouTube to subscribe. That's learn.joyjoya.com/YouTube to watch this episode and subscribe to my channel. To better support you, I'm also temporarily shifting my free 30-minute consultations to more of like a strategy call because I really want to be a resource and supportive partner for you during this time. I'm also spending way too many hours cooped up in my home office, so I selfishly need some human interaction. For the foreseeable future, if you want to take advantage of that strategy call, you can book that call with me by visiting joyjoya.com and you'll find my appointment scheduler in the bottom right corner of my homepage. And during that call, I'll give you some actionable tips and advice that you can start implementing right away without any obligation to work with me, even though I would love to continue chatting with you. So before we get started with the topic of the day, I wanted to share some marketing related news and research from the past week that caught my attention. First, you know it because I talk about it all the time. One of my favorite podcasts, the Glossy podcast, recently released an interview with the co-founders and husband and wife team behind the jewelry brand Gorjana. I promise, again, I'm not a secret shill for the Glossy podcast. I just love it and hope you also check it out. So husband and co-founder of Gorjana, Jason Griffin-Rydell, had some really interesting insights to share about the role of Instagram in direct-to-consumer jewelry marketing today. He said, quote, "There are brands that are huge billion-dollar brands and they don't have that many people following them on Instagram. And there are other people with massive Instagram followings and they're on the verge of bankruptcy. So there's not necessarily a natural equation that Instagram means success, although we live in a society where we think it does." End quote. I totally agree with Jason and think more jewelry brands should be realistic about what follower count means to them. I also saw a really great article that's not directly related to the jewelry industry, but applies very much to direct-to-consumer retail brands, D2C brands like Bombas and Casper, which previously only sold from their own e-commerce channels, are now taking advantage of QVC and HSN as important sales channels. According to the article I saw, quote, "But on QVC or HSN, the target's already been acquired. Most viewers tune in because they're ready to shop," end quote. It just really emphasizes the importance of omnichannel, which we'll be discussing later in this episode, so keep listening. And finally, in an article from Think with Google, Google's global marketing VP for media, Joshua Spanier, shared how his teams are currently navigating marketing campaigns through the COVID-19 outbreak, and discussed their 5 guiding principles for how to best handle a marketing campaign. So first, before moving forward with any new marketing initiatives, you have to consider the context, culturally, socially, and then constantly reassess the situation. So even though something might make sense today, doesn't mean it's going to make sense tomorrow. Our world is changing that quickly. You'll probably need to ask yourself if your creative is still appropriate and relevant, and you'll likely need to shift marketing budgets and priorities. Finally, you'll definitely want to think about ways you can give back to your community and use marketing as a way to connect with your customers rather than sell at them. But that's just overall really good marketing advice. If you want to get the links to the articles I shared in this segment of the podcast, you can sign up for my email newsletter by visiting joyjoya.com/sign up, and you'll get a digest with the links whenever a new episode drops. Okay, let's get down to business. So here's the thing. If you want to be a successful jewelry brand, then you just can never press pause on your marketing strategy, not even during a pandemic, which creates economic uncertainty and forces people to stay at home, as we have observed. However, you will definitely need to adjust your marketing campaigns and reconsider the role of marketing in your overall business strategy. We can no longer ignore the importance of omnichannel sales and marketing. Omnichannel, when I use this term, it relates to all the different shopping channels that are available to consumers. I mean, brick and mortar stores, e-commerce websites, mobile apps, digital marketplaces, and social selling. Brick and mortar jewelry retailers that currently don't have an omnichannel sales strategy in place, I'm sorry to say they will suffer, especially during this time when few consumers are, one, doing non-essential in-store shopping, and they're just not leaving the house. So those retailers that lack other ways to sell their products are definitely not going to be reaching customers at all during this time. At the same time, omnichannel shouldn't be seen as a crisis strategy, and I don't want to paint it that way. Instead, it's a future strategy, or a future-proofing strategy to be even more specific. Today's consumers are truly empowering themselves. They have access to so much information at their fingertips, and they can make confident buying decisions. I'm sure as a consumer yourself, you know that and understand how much information you have before you can make a decision, or before you even want to make a decision. So many of these consumers right now are working remotely and sometimes not even during regular business hours. So they're not often running to stores after work and on the weekends, and definitely not doing that right now when we're supposed to be at home. Oftentimes, these consumers are so busy, they don't even want to go to the store, fight for parking, and then take the risk that what they need might not even be available. As a jewelry business, you simply can't avoid omnichannel and then expect to survive. You have to meet the customers where they are and where they want to be. Does this all sound kind of bleak? I'm sorry. Let's look on the bright side. All of this change presents many opportunities. It truly does. With the rise of omnichannel came the increased importance of social media, which gives brands the chance to connect with their customers on a really personal level, especially during a time like right now when we have a pandemic. In addition, email marketing is excellent for maintaining transparency with consumers and providing them with updates about things like product shortages and shipping delays, 2 things that you might be experiencing right now. Imagine trying to communicate with your customers in a time of crisis if you didn't have access to these tools. They're game changers, and we really need to be grateful for them and make the most of them, really. If you're an e-commerce only jewelry brand, then marketing now is more important than it ever has been before. Should I drop my mic? I can't. It's connected here. In the short term, social distancing, as we can imagine, is definitely boosting e-commerce sales. This year, e-commerce is actually expected to reach 12% or higher of total retail spending, depending on how the economy is ultimately affected by by the virus and how it affects people's ability to buy non-essential items. To give you some perspective on that number, in Q4 2019, online sales made up 11.4% of total retail spending. So we're definitely seeing it go up. This is all good news for e-commerce retailers. Woo! All good news. However, if the supply chain can't keep up with the increased consumer demand, then it won't matter that more people are shopping online, since retailers won't be able to fulfill orders, at least not in a timely manner. In addition, if people are losing work and subsequently their income, then they definitely won't be buying jewelry. With all this uncertainty on the horizon, today's jewelry retailers will need to do everything they can to stimulate and maintain consumer interest while also being completely transparent about any business hiccups or setbacks. Customer experience must remain a top priority, and digital marketing can support that. What we mean by customer experience is all the ways that a customer interacts with your brand, from social media and your website to the shipping and packaging experience and any subsequent customer service follow-up after the purchase. It's about, quote, showing up for the customer when and where they need you with ease and consistency on their parts. And it's about making sure every interaction with the company is memorable and meaningful, end quote. And that's according to Convince and Convert. Marketing can improve the customer experience in two major ways, through personalization and through social media. Today's consumers are craving a more personalized marketing experience. They want to be delivered ads that are uniquely tailored to their shopping habits, and they want to receive promotions and recommendations that are relevant to their preferences. You can offer those things by using retargeting technology in ads, for example, by personalizing email communication, and more. In addition, you can improve the customer experience with your social media marketing by being highly responsive and engaged with your followers, viewing social media as both a marketing platform and customer service portal. In these changing times, you'll also need to be flexible and pivot away from marketing strategies that may have worked well for you in the past, but aren't working anymore due to extenuating circumstances. For example, event marketing plays a major role in many jewelry brands' marketing strategies, probably with yours as well. These brands depend on pop-ups, trunk shows, trade shows, shop-in-shops, and more to get in front of their customers and interact with those customers in person. Now that brands no longer have the opportunity to do those events, at least not for the time being, they shouldn't just ignore that missing piece of their marketing puzzle. Instead, they should be reinvesting those marketing dollars into an alternative method of reaching new customers and engaging existing ones. Are you looking for ways to fill the empty void left by events? Well, content marketing is one of the best ways for brands to actively engage with customers without necessarily interacting with them face to face. Not only can content help you generate new leads from people who may suddenly have found you online, maybe turning their attention to online shopping, but it's also a really great way to entertain and engage your past customers who likely need some distraction, familiarity, and positivity right now, for being honest. Try firing up your blog with fresh new content or creating a downloadable ebook catalog. You can do something like create a styling guide or try telling the story of your brand in a new way. In addition, video marketing is already a highly effective marketing strategy, and you can even try hosting digital events via a video platform. For more information about that, we talked about it a lot recently. You can listen to episodes 66, 67, and 68 for more about video marketing. If you've been handling social media and marketing yourself, or passing it off to an intern without consulting a true marketing expert, then now is definitely the ideal time to invest in help from a professional who understands the nuances of marketing and knows how to adjust a marketing strategy during a critical time. You simply can't remain on autopilot and continue to expect to run your business as usual. Instead, you must adopt a nimble new strategy, one that can change and evolve day by day. If you're the brand who's been diligently planning your marketing strategy weeks or even months in advance, which is typically something I suggest, great work. However, now's the time to abandon all that and plan and save it for when the world's a little less chaotic. Consumers today are tired and afraid and getting a little stir crazy in their homes. So you need to know how to talk to them in a way that's compassionate and sensitive. In addition, if business does slow down for your jewelry brand, then now is also a great time to do those marketing projects that you've been putting on the back burner for a really long time. And I know there's at least one of them. Have you been procrastinating your video marketing strategy? Well, if you're stuck in your home office, then set up some decent lighting and a non-distracting background and start exploring the potential of both streaming and recorded video. Do you need to optimize your website for SEO? Nearly everyone has to do this to some degree at some point. SEO work isn't necessarily difficult, but it can be time-consuming and boring. What better time than now to do something kind of that you don't want to do in a normal time? Put on some episodes of the Joy Jewelry Marketing Podcast and get it done, or partner with someone who can do it for you so that you can return to the marketplace even stronger when all of this blows over and the marketplace regains equilibrium again. And finally, you should definitely sit in silence for a little bit of time and think about your smart marketing and business goals and how you want to adjust them for the rest of the year moving forward, because I'm sure there are changes that need to be made to your goals. Regardless, you'll really need to embrace change during this time and remain open to new possibilities. Commit to expanding and strengthening your omnichannel sales strategy, and keep in mind that excellent customer experience supported by smart and strategic digital marketing efforts always win. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Email me, Larissa, LARYSSA @joyjoya.com. As a reminder to you, I'm temporarily shifting my free 30-minute consultations into strategy calls because I want to be a resource and support partner for you during this time. So for the foreseeable future, you can visit joyjoya.com, and on the homepage in the bottom right corner, you'll see a place where you can schedule your appointment with me and we can chat and I can get some social interaction and I can share some actionable tips and advice that you can start using today so you can feel a little bit more positive about the future and have a better idea of where you will go from here.